Hello and welcome. We are in the third quarter phase of the moon, which is exact opposite of the first quarter. Both quarters appear to be half illuminated in the waxing phase, or the first phase, the first quarter. The right-hand side of the moon is illuminated as you look at it out in the sky. And now we are in the waning phase where the light is fading away. And you will notice that it is now darkness on the right-hand side, gradually creeping in until half of the moon is illuminated on this third quarter. So the moon is a third of the way around its complete circle. And it is the left-hand side. So it's like a mirror image. And so in today's practice today, a couple of things that we're going to be focusing on. One, we're going to be doing the mirror image or the revolved version of a few poses, like our revolved triangle pose, revolved half moon pose. So we'll be working with a little bit of twisting. And then the other thing, as this waning energy of the moon, as the waning light occurs with the moon, we're also receiving less energy, moon energy. And so that means we are feeling more of the earth energy. And so we're going to be staying a little closer to the earth and maybe moving a little slower. The waxing phase of the moon, the first half up to the full moon, it was all about the inhalation and the rising energy building. The waning phase, it's about the exhalation and releasing and letting go. So the full moon was about the harvest of the fruits. Our gibbous moon last week, where it's illuminated more than half, but still the light is waning, was about gratitude. And now today it's about forgiveness. So this is about, we've kind of looked at our internal compass last week and felt gratitude, but also took a look at things that we could possibly improve on. Today is about forgiveness, forgiving ourselves for the things that maybe we didn't feel we did to a best of our ability. Maybe there were some places for improvement. And so it's about release and letting go of those habits and thought processes that maybe held us back in the last phase. So forgiving yourself and cleanse in preparation with that release theme in the practice, and to get ready for the next phase. And so, as I said, as this moon starts to take up less space, less light in the sky, we begin to get a little quieter, maybe a little more stillness in our practice, closer to the ground, and look at our stability and our rebalancing. So let's start. Let's start in supported Shavasana. We did supported Shavasana last day. I'm going to give you a couple of options for today. And I forgot to start my timer so I don't go over time. A couple of options for today. You can do the same variation that we did with 2 blocks last week in the supported Shavasana heart opener, as we look towards our forgiveness in this class after our gratitude practice. Or I'm just going to grab a blanket. You can also create your heart opening with a blanket, so it's a little less intense. You can also use your blanket to cover up your blocks to make it a little softer. But if you're using blocks, remember one is lower, the head is a little higher, and you want the blocks to be right at the shoulder blades. If you're female, right around just above the bra strap, with the arms wide to begin to let the heart open. And if that is really intense or uncomfortable for you, we are softening a little bit in today's practice, so maybe you want to use a blanket in that same space. So just around the bra line, the bottom of your shoulder blades. And this actually feels really nice as well. I like my arms wide in this practice. If you're really open, you could also have your arms overhead, a little less relaxing. And you can also have the legs in Supta Baddha Konasana position with blocks under your knees. So maybe you have the blanket here and blocks here. So take a moment, maybe hit pause while you figure out your setup. And then come into your passive heart opener for a few rounds of breath as we begin our class in this spacious, passive heart opener. I'm going to use the blocks in mine. And as we lie back, we're going to be sending the breath to those spaces in the body that need your attention the most. So, taking whatever position feels best for you on this particular day, and every day is different, honoring that. As long as we're all working for the same outcome of feeling a little bit of opening through the heart center, through the front of the shoulders, creating some spaciousness there, and allowing forgiveness to fill the heart. Taking a deep inhale, and then bring your awareness to the exhale as you exhale out your mouth. The intention of release. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale through your nose. Feel expansion. Maybe a gentle pause, and then exhale out the mouth to release. One more time like that, inhaling deeply through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And now bring your awareness to, again, those spaces in the body that maybe need a little extra help today, a little extra forgiveness. And this time inhaling and exhaling both through the nose, with your awareness on the exhale in particular. So we're going to stay for a few more breaths, just allowing this opening pose to begin to set the stage for the rest of the class, of thinking about those parts of us that maybe need a little extra help, whether it's a body part or something in our emotions or our mental body. Wherever we send our attention, that's where our energy goes. As you continue with your inhale, exhale through the nose here, bring your awareness to what you might want to let go of, what no longer serves you, what beliefs, what thinking patterns are maybe holding you back from achieving your dreams and your goals. How can you be diligent and consolidate and remove distractions? Remove those negative influences in your life that hold you back from your truth or your desires, your dreams. And take this time for conscious release of what no longer serves you. And let's set an intention of forgiveness in this practice today. So a few more breaths here. Remembering this whole waning period, energy of the moon continually helps us with this pattern of release. Take 3 more breaths here. And then roll off of your props, come into fetal position. And then just remove whatever prop it was that you were using and lie back down on your back without the blanket or the blocks. and come into Apanasana. So that is just bringing the right knee in towards the chest, the left leg is straight. And we begin to feel maybe you have some constriction somewhere in the body that comes to light here in this position. And then we just take the hands and begin to rotate the leg in the hip socket. So the arms are doing the work here right now. We're just getting a little bit of fluid moving in the hips. Let's go the other direction. And then we're going to take that knee with the opposite hand and bring it all the way over, come into a twist. So extend your right hand straight out. Left hand can be in the outside of that thigh or knee. And take it to wherever is comfortable for you. And as you exhale here, again, awareness to the exhale, the belly is twisting towards that right hand. And you might be looking towards that right hand. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, the belly twists towards the right. And then inhale, come back to center. Hold on to that right knee once again, drawing in towards the belly, and then bring that left knee to join it. Let's wake up the back body and feel that earthiness, that energy of earth beneath our back body supporting us here, supporting us through this practice. And then extend your right leg straight down. So same pose on the second side. We start with just a little bit of stillness, just feeling whatever sensations we're feeling, whatever constrictions you're feeling, and using that awareness to draw your attention inwards. And then let's begin to rotate that knee with the hands, getting some movement into the hip, and going in the opposite direction. Just notice how that feels. If it's pleasurable, if you feel constriction, tightness. And then let's go ahead and take that knee right across the body over to the right side as you extend your left arm straight out. And as you hold onto that leg, every exhale, remember now the belly is traveling, twisting towards that left hand, every exhale. Beginning to feel a little bit of release of constriction in the spine and the side body, maybe even through the front of that left shoulder in the heart center. Take one more breath. Exhale, twist to the left with the belly center. And then come on back to center. Both knees draw in. Let's begin to rock from front to back, hands at the back of the knees. And intentionally let yourself rock at least 3 times to wake up the spine. It's like a little earth massage for the spine. And then on our third one, we'll come up to a seat. Now you can sit on a block, you can sit on your blanket, or you can sit right on your mat. We're going to start with a little bit of warm-up of twisting. So we began a little bit while we were laying down. With hands on your knees, take an inhale, lengthen the spine up nice and tall. As you exhale, twist to your right. So right hand behind you, left hand to the outside of your knee. And remember the exhale, the belly twists towards the right. Inhale back to center. Let's exhale to the left, bringing your right hand to the outside of the knee. Inhale center, exhale right. Inhale center, exhale left. Let's do one more time to each side. Inhaling to center, nice tall spine, space between the vertebrae. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center and exhale to the left. Let's inhale, come back to center and do a little bit of seated cat-cow. So bringing some spinal flexion and extension with our breath. So as we inhale, we rock the pelvis forward, look up, draw the heart up, and as we exhale, we round the spine, let the shoulders roll forward, let your chin drop to the chest and lean back and bring a stretch into the upper back. So just oscillate between the two. Inhale forward, lift the heart, arch the back. Exhale, curl the spine, Draw the belly in, let the chin drop, and move with your breath. And you notice you're rocking on the sit bones, rocking the pelvis, as well as opening the back of the spine and the front of the spine, and connecting the body and the mind with the breath and the movements of the body. One more time, inhale forward. Exhale, rock it back, let your shoulders round. Oh, that feels really good on the upper back. Let's do one more round. I'm feeling really stiff today, and this is feeling really good. Okay, as we rock forward, we're just going to come up into hands and knees, and we're actually going to do cat-cow here as well, the traditional way. So let's inhale, draw the heart forward. And exhale, curl. Inhale forward, and as we exhale, maybe we curl and press the hips back a little bit. Bring a little more stretch. Walk the fingertips a little forward. Inhale, cow. And exhale back. You might curl your toes under here. Get a stretch in the arches. And this time, as we inhale forward, we're going to exhale into downward facing dog. So take a few breaths in your down dog just to walk the dog out. Bending one knee and then the other. Getting some stretch into the calves. Sorry about that, if that was noisy. Into the calves and into the hamstrings, lengthening through the spine. Stretching through the shoulders, maybe bending both knees. Draw your belly right up to your thighs and press the top of the mat away. And then lift the sit bones as you begin to press the thighs up and back. And let the heels begin to move ever so slightly closer to the earth. Take one more inhale here, and as we exhale, let's walk the feet to the top of the mat. As you come into your forward fold, inhale, lengthen, halfway lift, and exhale, bow down to the earth. Maybe even bring your hands to your feet and feel that connection to the earth, bending your knees as much as you need to here. Let's inhale, halfway lift one more time. Exhale, bow, bend your knees. Let's rise up, press away from the earth and rise up to that half moon in the sky. Draw into your heart center. Let's inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift the heart halfway, and exhale, step right foot to the back of your mat, coming into a lunge. You'll notice we're staying low to the earth here in our lunge as we press that left thigh down towards earth, and using the strength and stability of that right to press up. Take an inhale here, we exhale into reverse lunge. Lifting the left toes, pressing that left heel strongly into earth. And then we're going to rotate our feet to the long side of our mat, bringing hands to center. Take an inhale, like a halfway lift here, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend the right knee. Walk your hands over to the right side. Inhale, stay low to the earth as we exhale to the left side. And let's do a couple more times to each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. And exhale, left. Whoops. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And as we inhale to center, we walk it over to the left and pivot our toes back to the top of the mat. And then let's step it back, downward facing dog. From our down dog, let's step right foot forward. Come into our lunge for second side. Again, pressing that right thigh down, getting it closer to earth, and the strength and stability of the left leg pressing up. Take one more breath here. Exhale, reverse lunge.
Press that heel, that right heel into the earth. Lift those toes. Let the back heel come maybe a little closer to the earth. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to rotate to the long side of your mat again so that you face the long side of your mat. And let's come into our side bends, our side lunge again. Take an inhale and center, lengthen your spine. Exhale into the left foot. Maybe you get a little lower this time. It's our second time around, our second round. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. And maybe as we inhale to center and exhale left, you're going to reach your hands over diagonally and get a nice stretch, letting your torso get as low to the earth as you can. Inhale back to center. Let's do the same thing to the right. And inhale to center. Let's pause and center for a moment. Heart is lifted, spine is long, and then exhale, lower all the way, letting the top of the head spill to the earth. And then reach your arms across, grabbing, maybe it's your knee, maybe it's your shins, maybe it's your ankles. So you're grabbing opposite legs so your arms are crossed like an X at center. And then release your arms, change the cross. Release your arms to center. Turn to the top of your mat. And then step the right foot back. Come into downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose. Keeping your both hands down, simply turn your toes to the left. So we're creating a little bit of twist through the torso. Come back to center. Turn both toes to the right. One more time to each side. Center. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Come back to center. And we're going to lower all the way down. So some of you are going to come to knees. Some of you are going to lower through chaturanga and pause in chaturanga before coming all the way down to your belly. Take an inhale, rise up into your cobra. And let's make a little bit of a sway, getting into the spine of our cobra. And exhale, come down. Let's bring the arms wide. Fingertips, inhale, rise up, and exhale, flow down. Hands under your shoulders, let's press up and back, child's pose. Take a couple breaths in your child's pose, bringing everything close to the earth. And in your child's pose, take a moment to just notice where you might feel you need a little bit of release. It might be the hips, the low back, the shoulders. This moment in child's pose allows us to ground down and find that rebalancing and that stability. Let's inhale, rise up, curl the toes under, exhale into your downward facing dog. Let's float right leg to the sky, three-legged dog, and get a nice stretch as we lift up, lengthen up, rise up on those left toes as you step that right foot forward. If you need the space, step it wide. If you've got the space, step it between your hands. Maybe help that right hand help it rise up. Take an inhale, lengthen forward, let the hips move a little closer to the earth. And then drop that back knee. Let's reach up to the sky in our lunge here. Press the palms up. Create a little bit of length in our spine. And then release right hand to the right hip, left hand to the front knee.
we're simply going to twist to our right. And so we're using the belly, the exhale, to twist to the right. Come back to center, hands come down, lift the back knee, step it back. Downward facing dog. Let's go to the left side, float that left leg up. Stretch up, rise high on the right toes, press the top of your mat away from you. And exhale, step that foot either to the outside or between your hands. And help it get there, let the hips release towards the floor. Inhale, lift the heart forward. Exhale, drop the back knee, reach up to the sky. Again, lengthening the spine by reaching, maybe pressing the palms up. Take another inhale, and as we exhale, we twist to the left. So right hand to the knee, left hand to the hip. The exhale, belly twists left. Take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take one more breath. And let the exhale release down. Lift the back knee. Step it forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bow. Press into the earth so that you can rise up and reach up. Draw into your heart center. Let's take a moment in our mountain pose. We're going to do a little wood chopper, which is really helpful for release. So if you are aware of those things that you need to release, bring them into your mind now. We're going to come into Kali Mudra. So that's intertwining the fingers but releasing the index finger. Hopefully you can see that. Into Kali Mudra. And this is the hand position we're going to keep as we bring our feet wide in our mountain pose. And as we inhale, we reach up. And as we exhale, it's like a wood chopper. We bend our knees, send our hand out behind us. Inhale, reach up. And this Kali Mudra, as we exhale and chop the wood, is like slicing through those negative patterns that we need to release. Exhale. And you can even make a ha sound on your exhale. Ha. Ha. Let's do a few more. Ha. Two more. Ha. One more. Ha. And inhale up. And let your arms gracefully circle around and come to your heart center. Take a moment's pause in your mountain pose. Even close your eyes for a couple breaths. Feel that new energy coursing through your body, maybe a little bit of warmth, the energy you created with your Kali Mudra and your breath and your movements. From here, let's step back with our right foot. And come to face the long side of your mat. And then turn your toes out 45 degrees. We're going to come into a fiery angel or goddess pose. And we're going to use another mudra here. So as we reach up, I'm holding my hands low right now just so you can see my hands. We'll spread our fingers wide. And as we exhale and draw our elbows down, we'll make fists. So our hands will be doing this as we reach up and fists as we bring it down. So let's take an inhale, reach up, fingers are wide, bend your knees. As we exhale, draw the elbows down and make a fist. And we're going to add lion's breath in here as well. So inhale, reach up, fingers are wide. Exhale, into fists. Inhale. Two more. One more. And then release your arms down. Pause here. Take a nice inhale and exhale. And then turn your toes into warrior two position. So left toes to the top of the mat. The outside edge of the right toes parallel or almost parallel to the back of your mat. And let's find our warrior two position. So float the arms up. And as we come into warrior two, as you exhale, find or feel into that stability and strength and connection to earth, a rebalancing of the lower body. And then in our upper body, tune into softness and listening and reverence in our upper body. Staying connected to your breath here. Taking one more inhale. Exhale down into that stability, that earthy energy. And then inhale, let's reach it up to the sky, peaceful warrior. Find that peace and reverence in our peaceful warrior as we make space in our upper body. And then we exhale into side angle once again, bringing our awareness into the strength and stability of the low body. We cultivate that pure strength in the lower half of the body and practice that listening and space in the upper body, patience in the upper half, forgiveness in the heart center. Taking one more breath here. And let's inhale, rise up. Turn your toes back to the long side of your mat. Let's just take a moment and center, intertwining the fingers behind your back or hands on your hips with elbows pointing back to open the heart. Let's exhale and fold forward. Letting the head move towards earth. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath here. And use the inhale to begin to lift, just bringing the torso parallel to the floor. Let's pause here at parallel as we exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. Release your hands, pause. Let's turn right toes to the back of your mat and find your warrior 2 on our second side. Again, bending into that strength and stability and connection to the earthy energy. And then find that softness, that spaciousness, that deep listening in the upper body. So it's like that half moon, half dark, half light. We have the strength and earthiness of the darkness of the earth and that softness of the moon in the upper body. Take one more breath here. And let's reach it up to the moon. Make some space. Peaceful warrior. Nice breath here in our peaceful warrior. And then softly flow into your side angle. Again, bringing the awareness back into that strength and stability of our low body that supports us here. And that softness and spaciousness in the upper body. Taking one more breath. Inhale, exhale. And then your next inhale, let's come all the way up. Turn toes to the long side of your mat. Pause here for present moment awareness. And then we're going to turn back to the top of our mat. And hands come down, step it back, downward facing dog. You might take child's pose here if you want to bring back some of that softness and come closer to the earth. You might come into a flow, coming forward into your plank, maybe lowering through half plank or chaturanga. And then choosing your back bend here. It might be cobra. It might be arms wide. It might even be pressing up to upward facing dog. And then we will all meet in downward facing dog. Speaking of dogs, there's an incoming one right now. And this one really likes to take another breath in your downward facing dog. And then we're going to step or walk to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise up. And draw into your heart center. Take a breath or two in your mountain pose. I'm going to rearrange my mat as you do that. Okay, mountain pose at the top of your mat with your blocks at the top of the mat. So grab those if you don't have them handy. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, lift halfway. And the exhale, we step the right foot to the back of your mat for our crescent lunge. So staying up high on those toes, let's bring the fingers to reach behind us, find that strength and stability, and we rise, pressing the palms up to the sky to lengthen the spine a little bit to begin with. And then release your hands to cup the back of the head and lift a little bit higher. Perhaps just lifting through the heart, giving ourselves a little bit of support here, supporting the head. Take one more breath and release, hands out to the side, back to your heart center. Lean forward as though in your runner's lunge again. We're going to twist to our left. So twisting to the left, and remember the belly center creates the twist as we exhale. So you can have hands at heart center. You can have left hand to hip, right forearm to the knee. And some of you might have your arms open wide here. Take one more breath. And then we come back to center, hands come down, either to your blocks or to your mat. We're simply going to step the back foot forward. Inhaling to lift halfway. Exhaling to bow, and we're moving directly to our second side, so stepping left foot back. So we're starting in our lunge, coming into runner's lunge, sending the fingertips back out behind us, circling the arms as we rise up, press palms up. The first couple breaths just for lengthening the spine, lengthening the upper body, and then bringing those intertwined fingers behind the skull and let the gaze drift up as we lift the heart up, but with support here. Giving ourselves some nurturance, some forgiveness, the support. And then bring hands back to heart center, lengthen forward, and we move into our twist. Twisting to the right, again, same options, hands at heart center, hands open or supported, elbow to knee, right hand to hip. And each exhale, we're twisting, the navel center twists us to the right. Take one more breath here. And we release, hands to the mat or to your blocks. And let's step it forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, we rise. Reaching to the sky and draw into your heart center. We're going to go directly into our revolved pyramid and revolved triangle from here. Again, utilizing those blocks. Let's step the right foot back to start. And not as wide as we would for warrior two. The back foot about 45 degrees, not parallel to the back of our mat like we would for warrior two, more like a warrior one position. And so we're going to start by drawing the back hip forward, the left hip. You can actually bring your left thumb into the left hip crease and draw this hip forward as we lengthen and begin to draw our torso forward. You bring your right hand just to the back of the sacrum and keep drawing that left hip back, the left hip crease back. So again, we're finding that strength and stability here. Take one more breath as we lengthen. Our torso is just parallel to the floor. And then we can release both hands to your blocks here. So a couple of options for your right hand. You can keep the block on the inside of that front foot in the inside arch,
Or you can bring the right hand to the block on the outside of that foot. It's a little deeper on the outside, a little more intense. So if you haven't done this pose in a while, maybe bring it to the inside. Left hand to your left hip, press that left hip back, lengthen your spine, and then begin to twist, moving from the navel center to your left. Keep pressing both feet strongly as you open through the heart, maybe reaching that left arm up. Maybe it stays on your hip, but keep lengthening through the spine as you twist through the navel center. One more breath here. And release both hands down to your blocks. Bend that front knee for a moment as we readjust our blocks to be hip width. And then we're going to shift forward and come into half moon. So we're going to bring the blocks a little bit ahead of the foot. Float that back foot up so back toes are pointed down to the earth. And we're going to twist in the same direction. So right hand on your block, and we twist to our left. One more breath. And release the hand down. Release the foot down to meet your left foot. Come into a forward fold. Release everything towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, bend the knees. Let's rise. And reach up to the sky and draw into your heart center. So that was revolved triangle and revolved half moon. So we're going to do our second side, of course. So let's take an inhale, reach to the sky, exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's step left foot back, just a 45-degree angle and not a big stance. And let's come all the way up. Just lengthen the spine up for a moment and then release the hands down. Bring your right thumb to the right hip crease. We're going to draw that hip back. Your left hand to the sacrum, and we begin to lengthen forward till the torso comes parallel to the floor. And keep pressing that left hip crease back. Lengthening your spine, lengthening through the crown. Little micro bend in that front knee. One more breath, just parallel. And then release both hands to your blocks. So we're going to do the revolve triangle first. Press strongly into both feet. Left hand comes to your block. You choose whether it's inside that foot or outside. Right hand can come to your right hip. And it's through the belly center we begin this twist, this revolve pose. So the opposite direction that we normally do in our triangle pose. You might reach that top arm up to the sky. Keep pressing strongly into both feet, twisting through the navel center on your exhales, and maybe leaning back. One more breath. And release both hands down. Bend into that front knee. Let's bring your blocks a little further ahead. So we're going to twist to the same direction. And same hand, left hand will be on your block, but you can use both blocks as we make that shift. So it's kind of like a warrior three shape. Draw both hips in, your left toes are pointing to the earth, and we begin to twist to our right. And your hand can stay on your hip, or it might reach up to the sky. Keep lengthening through that floating leg. Take one more breath. And release the hand down. Release the foot down. Let's come into our forward fold again. Inhale halfway. This time as we exhale, we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Take child's pose if that's what suits you on this particular day, or take a float, coming forward to plank, using your exhale to lower down, using your inhale to find your back bend, your variation of cobra or up dog, and then exhaling back into either child's pose for a little pause or downward facing dog. Nice breath. And then use your next inhale to rise up, find your way into downward facing dog. Take an inhale and exhale here. And take one more inhale. And with awareness to the exhale, step, float, or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. And inhale, rise up. Draw into your heart center. So we're going to come into a little balance pose next. And again, you can use the wall for your balance pose. And maybe I'll walk you through that at the wall. So we're going to begin by balancing on our left foot. So we're going to have left side body against the wall. And we're going to twist to our right. So start by just lifting the right knee, and I'm turning towards the right. So you can bring your left hand to the outside of that left knee and extend. I seem to have trees in the way. Extend your right hand out behind you. So this can be your twist. You can also grab those toes and extend the leg. So this is pretty much the shape we were just in your revolved half moon pose, except we're balancing in a different way, but still on just one leg. And then come back to center. If you're using the wall again, you'll turn so that your right side is now against the wall. And we'll start by twisting to our left. So weight into the right foot, lift that left knee, hand can come to the outside of that knee. As you open that arm out to the left, twisting from the belly center here again, our revolved pose. And actually being at the wall gives you a little bit of feedback as to where your hand is in space. And then again, always the option, if you can grab your toe or use a strap to extend. And again, we're in that exact same shape of revolved half moon. And release. Come out of it. If you're at the wall, come back to your mat, into your mountain pose. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And I have my incoming dog once again. Taking two more breaths here, just feeling the energetics of those twists, those revolved poses, before we make our way down. So taking an inhale, reach up to the sky. As we exhale, we bow. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, we step it back into downward facing dog. From our down dog, we're going to move into pigeon pose, bringing it down close to the earth. Let's start with the right leg. Float the right leg up. And as we exhale, draw that right knee towards the right wrist. Walk that back leg back. Pause in your upright pigeon for just a moment. Prop up however you need to, if you need a blanket under that hip, or if you just need a little more space, even just rocking towards that right hip to give you that space, that support that you need before you walk it down. And maybe you pause on elbows, maybe you stack fists, maybe use a block under your forehead. But find your variation of pigeon pose.
that feels comfortable for you. Find your, find your breath as you allow yourself to sink closer to the earth energy. One more breath here. And then use your inhale breath to begin to rise up. Curl your back toes under. Shift back into downward facing dog or pause in tabletop along the way. And let's move to our second side. Inhale, float left leg up. Exhale, draw that knee towards the wrist and your ankle towards your opposite wrist. And then walk that back foot back. Pause in your upright pigeon for a couple of breaths, opening through the front body. When you feel ready, begin to make your way down. And again, you can have the option to rock towards that left hip to give you a little bit more support if it's too much for that particular hip on this particular day as you walk your way down. Again, support your forehead however is appropriate on this side. This is my tight side. Feel that release, that letting go, as you allow forgiveness in your heart for wherever you are in this moment, in this day. Taking one more breath here. And then begin to make your way back up, curling the back toes under. Again, option to transition through tabletop or step it right back to downward facing dog. And then option for one last flow. If you choose to flow, or maybe you want to stay in down dog and stretch it out with some three-legged dogs before we make our way to a seat. And then let's all make our way down to a seat. Let's just do a few seated cat-cows here with knees bent, feet together. Inhale, nice tall straight spine. Exhale, slowly release back. So we're kind of creating that curve on our back like the curve of the half moon that we see in the sky. Inhale. This gives us an opportunity of practice release on our exhale. Let's do two more like this. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, a slow release back. Last one. And then inhale up. We're going to make our way onto our back. And coming back into Apanasana where we started, drawing the right knee in first. And just feeling that release. Notice how this pose might feel different now than it did at the beginning. Find your breath beginning to soften, particularly your exhale. And then extend that right foot up to the sky. Extend your arms wide. And we're not going to use a strap in this pose. We're going to use the strength of our muscles here. Take an inhale, lengthen up. And as we exhale, open that right leg over to the right side, taking it as far as is comfortable for you. Inhale it to center. and exhale it over to the left. So again, we're in that same shape that we were in almost in our half moon pose. And then come back to center, bend the knee. Let's raise that left foot up to the sky, bend that knee, both thighs come in. Give yourself a hug of forgiveness. And release the right leg straight down onto the mat. We're in Apanasana on our second side. Nice inhale, exhale, nice and soft and releasing. And then left leg to the sky, spread your arms wide on the floor. Inhale, lengthen the leg up, exhale, open to the left. Using the end range strength to keep your leg from touching the floor, keep your foot from touching the floor. And then bring it back to center and exhale it over to the other side. And again, you're using your end range strength to hold yourself in this revolved pose. Bring it back to center. Bend the knee, bring both knees in. Rock and roll from side to side. And let's come into a bridge pose. So releasing both feet down to the mat. I'm just going to do one round of bridge here, very gentle inversion. So you can take whatever variation is most appropriate for you today. You can bend the elbows, point fingertips up to the sky. You can place a block under your sacrum, or you can come into traditional bridge by lifting the hips on the inhale, intertwining fingers, and pressing the forearms down into the earth. Back of the skull into the earth, and walk your shoulders, the back of your arms underneath to open the heart. Taking one more breath, and then gently releasing down. Taking a moment's pause here, feel into your breath. Place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Where can you forgive yourself? Where you blame yourself? Or you're hard on yourself? Berate yourself? Where can you let that go a little bit in your life? And then let's move into our final little supine twist. Just letting the knees, windshield washer, side to side with your breath. Exhaling, the knees drop. Inhaling, the knees come to center. And just moving nice and slow with your breath. Letting it be almost like a massage on the back of the pelvis. Gentle side to side release in the hips if you're tight in your hips. Whenever you feel even on both sides, we'll come to center. And take happy baby as your last pose before your Shavasana. Grabbing onto ankles or soles of the feet and drawing the knees towards the earth. So it's like your shins are perpendicular to the earth plane as you draw your knees towards the earth plane. For some people, it feels really good to rock from side to side. If you have a bony spine, this doesn't feel necessarily very good. You can stay in stillness in center. So take whichever variation feels really good to you. Two more breaths. And then when you're ready, make your way into your final Shavasana. Do not skip Shavasana. This is where your body gets to absorb all of the energy and the prana that you created and moved around in your practice. Support yourself however you need to support yourself in your Shavasana, with bolsters, blankets, and let yourself begin to soften back to earth, just as we are letting go of that moon energy and softening back to earth. Consciously allow that to happen in your Shavasana right now. And let's take 3 breaths together. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling, releasing. 2 more like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. And now just allow a softening, a letting go. As you let your breath soften. And consciously releasing each part of your body, starting at your feet and working your way up. Allowing stillness and softness for the next few minutes. On your next inhale, begin to deepen your breath. bringing awareness to your exhale, the mirror image of your inhale. The exhale allowing for your release. Continue to deepen both inhale and exhale. And then choose if you wish to stay lying on your back or begin to make your way up to a seat by finding your way into fetal position and then making your way to a seat. With eyes closed, whether you're lying or seated, begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. As we are reminded in this phase of the moon, this waning phase that energetically continues to support us in letting go of what no longer serves. As we bring our awareness to our inner landscape, we can become aware of the obstacles or negative influences in your life that are holding you back. And when we're able to extract wisdom from our past dramas and traumas, we're able to gain direct knowledge. And when we forgive, we can feel lighter. And that energy that was once being consumed by the past can now become an open resource for living more fully in the present. When we forgive ourselves and others, the entire orchestrated universe conspires to help support our healing process. Try not to focus on the story, but when the story does come up, simply pause, let it go on an exhale, and return to that part of the body where the sensation lives. Now slowly bring your hands to your heart center. Let your eyes gently float open. Bring your awareness back into your space. Thank you so much for joining us today for this phase of the moon and for this energetic practice. Namaste. Have an amazing day.